In the last week's exercise we saw our first searching function, which was VLOOKUP. We had a detail and we wanted to use a certain material and we wanted to know what's the price of the material we've selected. Now we're going to go deep in the next 2 hours, deep into searching functions, and the first one we're going to inspect is called index. Let's say that we have a row of numbers, and here it is, it's called V, and we want to know the third element from that row. It's the third element, K is the number of the element, and all we have to write is equals index from V, from row called V, kth element, which is number third element, and it takes it out. 65 is the result, because the third element in the row is 65. Now here it turns out that we have quite a sophisticated Microsoft Excel worksheet. It has a kind of a scroll bar here with which we can actually select which element we want to take out. It changes this element K in here, and it also, this Microsoft Excel Visual Basic program actually also colors the element we've selected nicely, and everything works just automatically. Okay, enough of those advanced features of Microsoft Excel that we're gonna see sometimes in the future, but we can also use index in case of a column of numbers. Of course, if it works for a row, it works for a column as well. So what we can do here is write equals index. We don't have names here, so let's just put this block, and we want to take, let's say, the fourth one. And here it is, it brings out number 13. Index, the name of the block, which one to take out, and it takes out this fourth, which is number 13. And also, index can take out a certain part of the table. It doesn't have to be a row or a column. It can be a table, which here has 4 rows and 3 columns, and right now it takes the second row, third column, and it's -5. The command is equals index. Now tables, it's usually so in computer science and in mathematics that we use the same names for denoting our tables. For instance, this table is called A, and this is what we'll very often do. And if we take with index from A table, from row number I and column number J, then this is also what we very often do. The current row is often called I, number 2, and the current column is called J, number 3. And also very often the total number of rows is N, and total number of columns is N. And here it is. We're taking the second row, third column, it's -5, and if we move around in here, second row, second column is 21. First row, second column is number 4, and so forth. And this program is even so powerful that, for instance, in here it doesn't let us move outside the table if we click continuously. Okay, but let's take some practical applications now. The first being that we have all the days of the week listed, and all the months of the year listed. And also we have categories of people's job contracts, and these people get a certain tariff in return for their work. Now for instance, the third category has a hourly tariff of $38. The sixth category has a hourly tariff of $57. So the higher the category, the higher the hourly tariff. Now, what we want to do next is, let's write in here number 8. And we want to know the number 8th month is August. Okay, first of all, we need to give some names. Let's select the table with the header, and let's give formulas, create from selection, and top row is a correct guess. And then just the same way, months and formulas, create from selection, and here it is, top row again. And now for the names, categories, and tariffs we can give together. So it's formulas, create from selection, and top row again. So it's the categories and tariffs. Now let's check it out. This block is categ, this block is tariff. Okay. Now our first formula was equals, and we use index. We take it from the block called months in plural, semicolon, B3, which is our number 8. And voila, we will have the name August. So once again, index, the block which we're going to access, and the number of the row. In this case, it's many rows. So which row we want to end up having with 8th row is August. Now next here we have a date, which happens to be today's date, 4th of November 2011. And we have here actually a formula today, which always gives us the current date. And we want to know, for month, again we want to know the word November, which is the current month word. And first of all we need to get that 11th number out of that date. So what we do is we use the function called equals month in singular is the function's name, and we write month equals month B8, and we go to the months block and we write B8. And it gives us number 11. Now we can use index, so let's write around this month, let's write equals index. The block's name is months in plural, and we go in months block to what just month B8 gave us, to 11th row, and we get November. Now the next thing is to get to know the 4th of November 2011 is a Friday. So what we want to know is how to get the word Friday out, and for that we will use at first the function weekday. In parentheses we once again put B8, and there is a little trick though. Namely, we have to put down in here semicolon 2. This switches it to European system, for which Monday is the first day of the week. In the US system, the first day of the week is Sunday. But we want to have for Friday number 5, so we use the European system. Recall that we couldn't have done it in any way by subtracting number 1. Let's say we had used the US system, and then Friday would have been the 6th day, and if we had subtracted 1 it would have been 5, and it would have seemed fine. But think about the beginning of the week. Monday is the 2nd day, we subtract 1, we get 1 and end up with the first day of the week. But Sunday, if we subtract 1 minus 1, it's going to be 0, so something weird will happen for our Sunday anyways. So once again, if our block of days is built in European way, beginning with a Monday, we have to use semicolon 2 and switch weekday function to European system as well. Okay. And now let's go to index and take the 5th day, which is Friday, equals index. Days is the name of the block, and weekday B8 semicolon 2 points us to the 5th, So once again, it will be calculated in such a way that weekday will be done first. It will result in number 5, and it will be replaced with number 5, and it will be equals index days semicolon 5. We will end up with the name Friday at the very end. Now the next thing we want to do is the next thing we want to do is regarding people's salaries. Here's a little table with people's sarkaisktam pajule, and their categories are 3, 4, 6, 10, 5, and they have a number of hours worked. We want to know what is their tariff. Recall that the third category has in the tariffs block the tariff of 38 per hour. There is one thing though that comes to our aid, namely, if we have the fourth tariff, it's always in the fourth row. If the person's category is 6, the tariff is in the 6th row, which means that we can simply use index here. The number of its category always equals the row number here in the tariffs block. If the category is 10, it's in the tariffs block on the 10th row. If we hadn't been that lucky, we would have had to use some other function. For instance, if the third category is here, second category is here, then we have to find some other way. But right now, let's write equals index. The block's name is tariff, semicolon C15, which is our number 3, and voila, we have 38 per hour for the salary. There is one further notion though, namely when we take this block, we would in a way have a better style when we would, instead of writing just C15, take this block like this, and as we can see, it's been named cat dot, cat full stop. So if we have its index, it goes to tariffs block, and now we have to tell Microsoft Excel which row to take out. Now if we give such a block's name, since index expects of us or wants us to give it a row's number, it goes and takes this current category. I mean, the block here is given like this, but since Microsoft Excel knows that in here we just need to give it a row's number, and this is a single number, then it goes into this block and takes it from the same row, the single number, number 3. This is, in a way, it could be a bit better style, because if we have like long worksheets where everything is where there are a bunch of tables all connected together, these names might be easier to read. Another thing, let's copy this right now, and it works just fine, always taking out the current tariff. Let's check it further. The 10th category, let's go and see, is $102 per hour, so it works fine. Another thing that we see here style-wise is those names are given with an extra row, and let's see why that is good. Namely, if we want to add another person to this table, and many tables are dynamic, we add people to that, then what we do is we just right click and insert, and what it does, it shifts everything down, and now you see the name is now longer automatically. The colors got dragged out and the name is longer as well. So that's why we might want to, for some dynamic tables, leave that empty row in the end. Moving on to the salaries, it's just quite straightforward. We will multiply the hours worked with tariffs. The only thing we might want to do is make the whole blocks again. Again, it takes from the hours block the correct and from the tar dot, tar full stop block, the correct one, out, and the name again might be a bit better style.